So, this is the review, my review for the Akko Rosewoods, the newest Akko switches. Maybe the creamy. No, I think Rosewood is the much newer one, but there's also the Akko Creamy Purple Pro, which I'll do a review right after this. Um, so what I'm gonna do is lazy, be lazy in my production because not only because I'm lazy, but because I feel like everyone will be so good at doing their production of the review. Will look so good, like their editing, they have the graphics and stuff. Like their effort is way better than mine, but I feel like it might just end up be the same. But I also don't want it to be like a 10-minute review, because I don't want to waste too much of people's time. They just want to know, is this good? Does it work? Does it sound good? How does it sound? How does it perform? You know, maybe those basic questions that I'll be able to answer. And I'm very honored and very grateful that I was sent this opportunity to review a Switch, especially a Switch this new. And I mean, I did not expect this Switch at all, like to be in my possession, because honestly, I'm kind of out of the hobby as I go into another rabbit hole. But that aside, I have heard of the Switch like months ago, maybe 4 to 6 months ago. I saw in Akko's Discord, Akko is developing their first Thoki Switch, which is a linear, which is quite heavy. Actually, if anything, I should measure it right now. So this is the Akko Rosewoods. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it does reflect rose, the color rose and wood inside, so rosewood. But maybe there's a deeper meaning. Meaning. So this is a. When I first tested this, I was very, uh, I was very surprised to find out that it is, uh, long pole. But then a week after that, I just found out that this is actually not a long pole, but rather a stem grill bottom out, which has a bit of a. It has a bit. Forgive my fingers. It has a bit. It's like a long pole, like so that it's compatible with cherry keycaps. It has a bit of headroom. The stem is a bit taller than the housing, and these are cherry, but then these are south facing, and these are well cherry clones. So I can't really say if it's truly compatible, but it will seem like so. This is most likely compatible with GMK profile keycaps in the north facing direction. As for my experience, I was very satisfied with this. Like, I would main this. I would probably main this after the review. But then there is one competing switch that makes me a bit that gives me second thoughts that if I should main this switch. I would probably leave this switch just in this board, the Akko ACR Pro 75V2. That's a long name, but it is a 2-year-old board as far as I know. Alright, so that's the switch. This is my first time opening the Akko Rosewoods. That's a really long stem. Let me grab my ghetto calipers. Try. Oh no. No. Alright. Seems to be a 21.3 long spring. It is. I felt it was a bit lubricated too, but I think I removed the lube now, so GG. And this is. I'm trying to see. There is lube on the bottom housing. Please ignore my fingers. I know they're bad. And as for the rails, I see a light coat of lube. It's way lighter than the bottom housing. Please, camera, work with me. And then I should be more professional now and not hold by the fingers, eh? I think I'm going to actually do a B-roll and post, because it's kind of hard to do it real time. Great, my camera not focusing. Hey, camera. Light coat of lube. I mean, no, it's not really that light actually. It seems like a generous coat of lube onto it. And there is a lighter coat of lube on the stem pole. I don't know if you can see it, but trust me, bro, I'm the source. Then there's also a light coat of lube here. Please, camera, please. I pray. Oh, I pray, I pray. Trust me, bro. There's like two. I think it's not really intentional, but there's two coats of lube in this area, and also in this area. And that. Oh wait, no. It is intentional. That coincides with this part of the top housing. This. What my tweezers are pointing at. This one, and as well as the other side. I'm not sure if that helps. I've lubed switch before like that, but I didn't notice any difference. As for the top housing, other than that part where it's lube, the top housing rail is not lube. There's no lube in it. But there's like a little slit of plastic in there that I've not seen in any switch yet, as far as I remember. There's like a little slit. I'll do a B-roll. I'll do an actual photo of it, but there's a slit in between here. But I'm not sure if that helps. But I'd say the lubing job is something I would do, except for the north and south of the stem. This is something I would do, and add in the top housing lube. So let's put it back together. I lost the spring. Rip. How the hell do I lose the spring? Oh, I'm blind. It's right here. So, in short, just to recap, there is lube on the stem rails, even on the stem north and south sides, but not too much. Top housing has lube on the north and south sides, but not on the stem rails. Bottom housing on the stem rails has lube, and as well as the leaf. The metal contact leaf also has it. So we're gonna do this. It's kind of weird. Like, you're wondering why are you wearing the board? Well, I'm gonna set it to 0. And then I'm gonna push until it bottoms out. Not the most scientific way of doing stuff, but it seems to be a 60-gram bottom out. I'm gonna put the actual specs that they place in their product page. So how about the experience? Alright, no more tangent. It's really good. I've been using this for 1 week. I've been gaming on it. I haven't typed a whole lot, I'm going to admit, but I did type a whole lot of monkey type, but I didn't type a whole lot of useful things. I just, wow, keyboard. You know, and then gaming. Alright, you know what, let's start with gaming. Gaming, it's just, you know, perfect. There's nothing special. There's nothing that sets it apart. Maybe the long pole gives you more of that feedback. Not really tactile. I guess I could call it tactile in a way when it bottoms out. Like, you know when you press it down. And, well, I only tested it like once in FPS games, gotta admit. Honestly, I'm bad at movement, so I can't really say that, oh wow, this switch is better for movement, better than Hall effect, better than the new features mechanical keyboards have, like the double tap or something they call it. I can't really say. I'm bad at PC FPS, sadly. But what I can say in mobile FPS emulator is that, yeah, it's fine. You can switch, you can rebound fast. The rebound time when it goes up, top out after you release the key is very fast. It's not too fast that it's like a membrane keyboard. It gives a bit of, you know, of a slack before it goes up, but it's not slow. As for the feel, it's smooth. I haven't noticed any grain. Even this one that I opened, maybe it's a bit shaky now because I opened it. I haven't noticed any grain in any of these. I actually one by one tested them. There's no grain. Maybe there is a bit of a spring difference between them. Like maybe this, like for example, this one's a bit firm. This one, oh, it's firm. This one is a bit shaky to me. Like the spring is not up to par between these two, but honestly it's not anything you'd notice in actual typing, and it's just nitpicky. I'm trying to find imperfection in here. Let me test the wobble. I'm gonna have an actual B-roll remember editor, which is me. Let's see how tight it is. I'm kind of bad at this. Hold on. Because I don't really mind wobble unless it's really bad. But with the keycaps on, there's average amount of tightness in the wobble. It's not too wobbly, but it's not too tight either. Or not too tight. It's not tight either. It's just average with most of the switches I've seen. But what is incredible is the north and south wobble. It's firm, very firm. But the sides are not up to par with that. But that is not anything that takes it away from the switch or gives it to the switch. Honestly, I don't mind either way. It's wobbly. If it's really wobbly, I would actually mind. But as I said, I did play a bit of games, not FPS, more of open world games, and I didn't notice the wobble. It didn't bother me. So the wobble is bang on. As for the sound, well, you could develop those opinions yourself, but to me, it's really muted. Oh, well, it's not really muted like it's silent here, but this is borderline silence. I have tried Akko Fairy Silence. Too bad I didn't record it because I had no time, and it was a commission, so less time. What that gave me the vibe of that switch. Like Rosewood gave me the vibe of the sound of the Fairy Silence. Well, of course, Fairy Silence are actual silent in yours, so like like there's a vibe to the sound that it's that silent. Like I feel like if they made the stem rails silicone, it would sound like the Fairy Silence, and it would feel like it. Well, with more mushiness. Well, not to say that this Rosewoods is mushy. It's not mushy at all. It's not dragged down by lube. It's not too slow. But it sounds like it is lube. It sounds like it is lube. I mean, it is lube, and it sounds like it. So the sound is muted and deep at the bottom out. In my opinion, deep at the bottom out. But at the top out, there's that, I can't explain it, but there's that classic Akko signature top out where I think their top housing is thinner, or their mold is just different compared to other switches. Like for example, again, well, the switch is not here to be compared because I'm too lazy to mount them again. But Fecker matches, their top housing is not their top out is not as thin sounding as this one. Well, not to say that the Rosewoods is thin. It's more of like bright, like it sounds higher pitched than other top outs for stocky switches I've heard. And then there's the Yuzuriya Inori switches, which I will be comparing in the next shot. That is deeper, but I haven't truly compared them because that's mounted on a different board. But I will be mounting them here right after the shot. But the top out of the Yuzuriya Inori is more, it's deeper than the Rosewoods. But does this count as a stocky switch? Yes, absolutely. It is a stocky switch, no doubt. Those who want us to stock, but wants an Akko, and wants them pre-lubed, and wants the lube to be perfect, bang on. This is just a switch, you know. I cannot say it is perfect. Maybe there will be something down along the line of durability, but you know, mechanical switches, they're pretty durable unless you mess around with them with too much lube or whatnot. But it's just that bang on middle of the road, you know. I'd say it's leaning towards slightly to Boba U4T muted type of sound, not stocky. The U4Ts are kind of king of that. Honestly, I don't really like the U4Ts. There's something in it that I don't like. But that when I first typed on this, that's what it reminded me of. Like, dang, these are muted. And okay, now this is just my personal opinion. I mean, I said opinion already many times, but again, this is opinion squared. My there's like one nitpick I'd say, like that's for me about the switches, is that they're too muted. They're just too muted. They sound amazing. Don't get me wrong. They feel amazing too. I'd main this, you know. There's just this other switch that I favor more because it's a bit louder, you know. Like let's say you have two bass speakers, right? One bass speaker, it has its bass a bit rolled off. This is like that switch. I know I'm comparing to audio because of this, but And then the other bass speaker, it doesn't have its bass rolled off. It's more full sounding, and it's louder. It rumbles. That's the usually Inori switches for me. This it's muted. The bass is just a bit toned down. But I think this would be perfect for like this is uh this is modded with Tempest mod, with PE foam mod. Actually not the actually a PE tape mod. It's a tape that's PE and it's a foam. It's just a tape. Yeah, I think I'll place the actual name here and maybe the product link. But that's what I use here. And I think this would pair well with poppy builds like this because it tones the pop down. If that's your goal, to tone the pop down with the switch after you popped out your board. And for stock, there's no doubt this will pair so well with stock builds. Maybe add a layer or two, or PE foam or two, to that build. Well, not PE foam or two, that's too thick, but you know what I mean. Just add anything of those missing if you want the volume to be louder. Any of those. Maybe mainly the tape mod. It will make it a bit louder. But if you want a silent build, or like not really silent, just muted build. Yeah, perfect, muted build. But you don't want a silent linear because they're so mushy. They're membrane. You're going back to membrane after you bought all of this? Of course not. I'm just kidding. I like the fairy silence. But if you want this would be perfect for it. Like maybe the Gazu Boba linears would be its competitor for a muted board, but the stem rail bottom out is just something special. Like it is, Longpole lovers will love this, but they won't be fully satisfied for a switch like this. Well, that's just my opinion though. I'm not fully satisfied because it's not. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's not harsh to my fingers. I want it harsh. I want my fingers to be slapped. Ow. And yeah, it's perfect. Now I will be mounting the Useria Inori switches to compare, and then mounting it to my actual, I'd say maybe Thoki Marbly board to compare, and that's it. But alright, before I let you go, if I were to rate this out of 10, this is an 8.5, 85%. Just bang on, middle of the road switch, and a linear. I didn't say linear all video. That's crazy. You did notice linear. So I'd like to continue on this video. The conclusions which I just found out from comparing both the Yuzuriya Inori switches against the Akko Rosewood switches. And the Inori was my favorite. And it was, I thought, the thockiest switch that I owned until I mounted them on this board, which is configured to have a deep sounding pitch. And I found out that these Akko Rosewood sounded deeper, even at the top out, than these Yuzuriya Inori switches. As you may have heard in the comparison sound test that I just showed you, Rosewoods are probably the winner for most of you for if you're looking for the deepest, stockiest switch. But yeah, it does still lack volume. It lacks the feedback of the user area in our switches. But if you don't like a harsh feeling, you want it the feedback, the bottom out feedback to be a bit dulled, and you want it, you want talk, but you don't mind it to be less poppy. These are perfect. And fortunately, I was that person. I am that person. I love these so much. I am actually meaning this. I didn't think I would replace my user Inori. Now I'm sad that I that this just released. Like, come on, Akko, release this sooner. Dang, they could have done this a year before. I swear to you, but they stick to the clacky. I'm not judging, right? Clacky sounds good, but I was the stock guy, and Akko was not there to show. But there was, or there still is, the Akko Matcha Green, not Pro. They say the Pro was clackier, but the Akko Matcha Greens were good, and then their Wine Red was stocky, but it wasn't stocky enough. That's why I switched to Figure Matcha. I looked at Old Kings. Didn't end up getting that. I tried some Boba Linear U4Ts. Didn't like it. Some stocky tactiles that I'm forgetting. And then, ended up the user no restrictions. And wow, I replaced. If I can have one request, Akko. Akko, I know you're listening. You're watching, right? You're watching. Do the same thing, but this time it's tactile. P bump, tactile, P bump. You know what? Both P bump and brown tactile, brown like tactility switch. Do it. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. Come on. This time, be early. Be early. This is great. I cannot stop typing on this. I think, the one thing that will complete this will be changing the keycaps. This looks odd. Just love these Hiragana too much. And I don't think I'm mounting them back here because they sound too muted. And I think the ACR really specializes in poppy, clacky sounding, switches. And this paired up pretty well with Useria and Ori switches, surprisingly. I didn't mount it on this before, I didn't think about it. It sounds nice because the Useria and Ori switches are long pole, so it has that long pole sound. But dang, this rosewood when on this Haribon, it sounds like wood. It sounds like I'm knocking on wood, at least through the direct monitor. Wait, let me remove my IMs. Yeah, this is deeper than the Fekor matches. It almost sounds like wood, bro. Maybe I'll get the Akko wood keyboard. I forgot the name. I might get it. Rosewood wood keyboard, maybe wood keycaps, ultimate wood stock. I know one very popular guy would probably do that because he loves wood keyboards. Oh my gosh, I can't. I don't think I'm reviewing the other Switch, Akko. I don't think I'm reviewing the the new Creamy Purple Pro, but I'm excited to test out Akko's first P bump switch, tactile switch. But oh no, you have to pull me away from this. And the video will still go on with me talking and typing. This is too good. I hope I type more important stuff when I go to college, which will probably happen. Most likely. Inevitably. But you know what is not inevitable? Me leaving this Switch. It pairs up too well. Quick recommendations before I end. I keep saying I'm gonna end, but I don't end. I never end. I'm eternal. Haribon, GMMK Pro, maybe the Monsgeek keyboards, the metal ones. Maybe they're 75%. That one was stocky the last time I modded one. What else is stocky? The ABM! The ABM! The Cedo ABM 066. Holy. What else is stocky? Maybe the Tofu 65. Or was it 60? 65. Yeah, Tofu 65. No. No, it was KBD 67. Oh, wow. Maybe the Tofu, it will work. KBD 67 Lite. What else is stocky? Like, it will sound like wood. If it doesn't sound like wood, I don't know what does. A literal wood switch. A literal wood switch. Oh my gosh, this is too good. These switches, I'm Inori switches is phased out of this board. It's out. I'm removing it. Admittedly, the keycaps probably help with the stock, but you heard the sound test. That's crazy. And you know what? Maybe it's time not to be so harsh on myself, you know? That is in the context of switches, by the way. In the context of switches, everyone.